On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Paulie and Dustin, Mitch on vacation all week. He's sweating this Brewer game. 4-2 Milwaukee, bottom of the eighth. And you want to get nuts with the Mets. You're never out of the game in play. Mets 15-1 to come back. Nats lead the Rockies 1-0 in the sixth. Brian Mahoney joins the program now, covers the NBA for the Associated Press at Brian C. Mahoney on X. He's on the Progressive guest line, and he joins us now to talk a little hoops. And day 23, Brian, of indecision. Do you think there was something to what happened last night with the mix-up with the YouTube and what the Heat did, saying LeBron presser July 27th?
It certainly makes you think. I mean, obviously Miami, we all just thought was going to be a candidate, maybe a favorite. So when that happened, sure, you understand where it can be an accident and all that stuff, but you also kind of wonder, like, okay, is this really the hint we've been waiting on? And certainly I would understand why people think that was telling us something. And as much as the Heat say otherwise, obviously we'll find out at some point. But certainly it gives you reason to think maybe we're inching towards something here.
Well, I hope so. I think at one point we all would like to be in a position where we could tell our boss to go bleep himself. How about Adam Silver says, hey, wrap it up, let's go. We have to make the schedule. And he says, I'm just going to take longer now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I understood exactly what Adam meant when he said that. Because obviously, look, if, I'd assume if he goes east, whatever team it is would probably play the Knicks on opening night.
Yep.
If he stays west, probably goes to L.A. on Christmas. So I know exactly what Adam meant, but of course, if I was LeBron, don't rush me. And you're right. If you could say you want an answer, guess what? You're not getting an answer. Most of us in life can't, but LeBron certainly can.
Brian, I keep getting stuck on this, though. You've covered the league for a long time, so you probably know him way better than we do. He loves the attention, but he also loves the perception. He wants to control the narrative. He cares about how he's perceived and how he's viewed. If you're going to rank the four teams in the mix, Miami, Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Golden State, which team for his legacy and how he's going to be viewed down the road makes the most sense for him to go to right now?
It's such a good question, and I'm having such a hard time with this one because, I don't really necessarily know what he wants, because I don't think any one of those is like a guaranteed. If LeBron goes to it, they're going to win, or even if they're going to get close. So whether, I think if he goes to Philly, if I had to answer one, I would say Philly, because they have obviously not even gotten past the second round in 25 years. They need something to. So if he goes there and they make the move, if he becomes the Jalen Brunson in New York to what in Philly, and all of a sudden the team gets good and they keep going, I think that probably is the best legacy one for him. But I don't know if he necessarily wants that anyway. And Philly is a tough fan base, and they're impatient, and there's guys there who don't stay healthy, and Joel Embiid. So it's a lot of reason to kind of wonder on each and every one. I don't think there's an easy answer for LeBron on this one.
Isn't it a bizarre fit in Miami with Bam, him, and Freak?
I mean, it's an unbelievable front court, and a lot of questions after that. It's I think it'd be fun to watch him and Giannis together, and Bam sort of behind them, backing him up. But yeah, it's I'm not sure it's any better than some other big threes we've seen in a lot of years, and it's certainly not one that's going to stay healthy. Giannis gets hurt a lot now. LeBron is at an age where he's going to need to sit out games. So when that happens, then what do they have behind him to win? So it's again, like I say, there's a lot of fun choices for him. There's all of them that has a guaranteed at least one or two questions that make you think it might not go as well as he would want it to.
What about the impact, not just on the 4 teams that are in the mix to get his services? There are a lot of free agents still out there, Brian, who haven't been able to sign with a team because so many teams are either in a sign and trade possibility with LeBron, depending on where he goes. How many teams are impacted aside from the one he ultimately signs with here?
Well, that is the one thing I do sort of feel bad for some players maybe because, the other times LeBron was a free agent, you knew he was only signing for the max or close to the max, whatever, and only a couple teams could afford that. Now, he may go say, I'll play for a mid-level or a veterans minimum. He can do whatever he wants to. And all of a sudden, yes, guys who would only qualify for that do have to sort of wait because that puts every team in the mix, more or less. So it does force some guys to wait. It is frustrating because it is late July already now. And, most times free agency is done by, 10 days ago, but that's the situation here. It's pretty unusual.
Let's say it's Miami. Would you still say that the Knicks are big winners then in the offseason?
Well, I would definitely say this. I think that, all the other East teams maybe who are contending with the Knicks, if he goes to, if he does go to Miami, and Miami's then better. Philadelphia maybe gets better getting Jaylen Brown, but none of them sort of loaded up and went together and caught the Knicks, I don't think. I would still probably lean toward the Knicks with their chemistry and the time they spent together and the talent they have, and still probably rank them a little bit ahead. So, I think the Knicks are in a good spot right now. And, if LeBron goes to Philly, then maybe I would say they talent-wise have loaded up enough. But that'd be it probably.
With the way things ended with Cleveland last year and them winning the analytics championship, Kenny Atkinson running it back, obviously they're still in the mix for LeBron here, Brian. But even if they don't get LeBron, they have plenty of pieces. How different do you anticipate Cleveland looking one way or the other, regardless of LeBron?
I still think they're very good, but, I hesitate again with, assuming Harden's there. The guy is, another year older, at a position where he's not dominant anymore and not quite good enough again. If LeBron goes there, maybe I'd say, okay, maybe that does put them over the top. Otherwise, I'd still say top 4, maybe a little higher, but I'm not going to rank them 1 at this point. I was there watching, them in the conference finals and forget the analytics part. What happens on the court, there's reason to be concerned about them.
Yeah. No one's talking about Atlanta. And they really closed the regular season. How about the moves that Atlanta's made? I love that trade they made last week.
Oh yeah, I mean having to bring the ball up against that defense now when you're talking about having Dort there with Daniels, I think that's going to be an incredible backcourt. The only thing for Atlanta is they're still probably one big guy away, which most teams don't have, and you can win a lot of games without one. But we saw against the Knicks, who were a physical team, that eventually sort of wore them down, and the way Karl-Anthony Towns was able to sort of dominate those last few games. But otherwise, Atlanta has solved a lot of their problems, and I do think they're a team to keep an eye on for sure, because they were already on their way up the way they finished the end of last year, and maybe better now.
Dustin mentioned analytics and the asinine comment from Atkinson, but in all your years covering the sport and as a reporter, were you shocked at what was not offered and how Boston found out what they could not get for Jaylen Brown in return, that he goes for arguably the second worst contract in the NBA and some picks after what he did in the regular season, leading them to the 2 seed?
Yeah, I think we were all shocked at the low level of what they got back for him. I can understand why some analytics might say Jaylen Brown is less value than but listen, Boston was not supposed to be anywhere near as good as they were last year. They won a lot of games because of how good he was. He's gotten better almost every year, it seems like, expanded his game. And the fact that they gave him to a division rival for what they got, that was shocking. I don't know why they rushed into that deal, but it seemed like there should have been something better.
Brian, Summer League's come and gone. We saw one big move in the Rookie of the Year market, and it's because Caleb Wilson played, and he was awesome. I mean, he's a dog. He wants it. He wants the spotlight. He wants the big shots. And an element of his game that I didn't really know he had was he could shoot the 3 ball, apparently. He goes from 10-1 down to 4-1. He is the third shot behind Boozer, the favorite, plus 290, Peterson, plus 310, and then AJ DeBonsta's 4-1. What do you make of this rookie class and the surge in the market for Caleb Wilson here for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I had a couple of people tell me they thought he was the best player. I think our guy who covers college basketball down there, who obviously sees Boozer and Wilson all season long, said this guy might be the best one. So I did not know he had as much game as he showed during Summer League, shooting the ball from the outside, as you point out. But if he does, yeah, he seems to just be an incredible athlete, which we knew. But, yeah, much more of an offensive polish than I already was aware of. And so, yeah, I can see why his odds flew up the board. He had a great session out there.
Only 90 seconds left, Brian, and we're talking to Brian Mahoney, covers the NBA for the Associated Press. We were talking before the show, and we're baffled by this. Why did the league allow this to happen with Portland, with the sale, and come? I think the biggest stain on Stern's legacy is the Sonics left Seattle. And I don't know what's going to happen here, to come in and have all these layoffs and not do T-shirt night, and now there's a problem with the arena. This doesn't look good, what's going on in Portland.
It looks terrible so far, Paulie, and I'm obviously distant from it, but I covered a lot of the Seattle thing, and as much as everyone hated it happened, there was at least a feeling that everything had been exhausted. They had really tried and worked at it, and it wasn't going to happen. It doesn't feel that way with Portland here. It feels like there's almost some giving up before it's bad. I think they need to get some real good PR there soon because everything's been negative.
Well said. Appreciate a few minutes. Enjoy your off season. Thanks for coming on, sir.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
You got it. He laid off the broadcasters today? What did he do?
A lot of them are not returning. And this goes back a couple days now. I mean, people we know, Tom Haberstraw, a bunch of others not being he is going to consolidate this broadcasting so that he has one broadcast for the TV and radio. Dude, you just bought an NBA team. If you're poor, tell everyone you're poor. Don't operate like you're poor.
First thing he did, he laid everyone off, and then he said, you got to check out by 11 o'clock at the hotel.
He is setting, if he wasn't bringing people on the road to playoff games.
Yeah, that too.
He's setting everything up to make a case to sell this team. He wants to move, or not sell, to move this team from Portland. Portland deserves a team.
Yes.
They support the Trailblazers. It is their only pro sports franchise. It would be a travesty because this dude doesn't want to dig in his pockets and pay for the team where he bought them. This is a joke.
Totally
I mean, dude,
agree.
he should not be allowed to own the team.
Totally agree. A Heisman bet that Dustin made, and you won't believe what Benjamin Watson said about Lane Kiffin today. So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
On this show, we follow the money, and when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Brewers hang on. They win 4-3. And it's a fun day. 17 games in Major League Baseball. Pirates won game one of a doubleheader. Red Sox win again, 15 in a row. Diamondbacks lead the A's 4-2 in the 5th. Mariners lead the Reds 3-2 in the 6th. We'll go out to SEC Media Days, check in with Bruce Marshall in 10 minutes. He was also in Charlotte for the ACC Media Days as well. This is back-to-back days now of what the expectations are from Lane Kiffin in year one. Just, you can get in an argument about this. Phil Steele has LSU in 8th place in his preview magazine. They are minus $2 to miss the playoffs. So all week it's been, what are realistic expectations? 7 wins last year. Leavitt the quarterback. Kiffin takes over. Big payroll. At Ole Miss, A&M, at Auburn, Bama at home, Texas at home, at Tennessee, at Arkansas. Yeah, I know you think he has them ranked too low, but I think the expectations are way too high from, number one, the fans, and then we'll hear from people from the SEC Network in a second. What say you?
This is the widest variance team in college football. If everything goes right and it's a video game and chemistry doesn't matter and getting acclimated to new systems and new places doesn't matter, working with the returning players and the new players, he's got 59 new players in. And what about Lane Kiffin has led you to believe that when there's pressure and then there's adversity, that he's just going to step up and be ready for the moment? All this guy's done is let you down when you start to believe.
Yes.
And then the one chance he had an opportunity a year ago to shove it in all of our faces, he walked away from it in the playoff. I get it. LSU, it's the best job in America. I don't think you can make those statements anymore. I'm sorry. I think the pressure of LSU is too much now in today's world where everyone's punching up at you and you have all the money and all the expectations. I think this team could win 6 games. This team could win 9 games. It could be anywhere in there. But you're relying a lot on Lane Kiffin to get a lot of new pieces together. And they're good. Levitt's a good quarterback.
Yep.
But can he stay healthy? He was awesome 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't there a year ago. A lot of weapons coming into it to work in. A lot of defensive pieces joining. It's just a lot of expectations in a league where it is so hard to consistently win.
So Jordan Rodgers made the comments the other day about he needs to make a deep run in the playoff. And this is Benjamin Watson today on the SEC Network of what he should do.
An LSU fan is going to be watching this football game. It's an opportunity for Dabo Swinney to make a statement. But on the same token, I think that Lane Kiffin has to make the national championship this year.
Whoa.
He has to.
Hey, don't say that on Get Up or First Take. Twitter will come
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying he's going to.
No, I did say that too. I agree with you.
We can debate that, but I think for him, he has to.
Yes.
He has to at least make the game this year because he left the team, Dari, that was a game away.
Yes.
Like he left.
Finally, someone with me.
I'm just thinking is in 2 days.
He left a team that was a game away to go somewhere else.
This is asinine.
Stop.
I mean, this is for years I called him the Ashton Kutcher of college football. He kept getting these jobs and his resume sucked.
Butterfly effect doesn't do it for you?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to go to the national title. You nailed it before the show. The guy that needs to make a deep run is Sark.
Oh,
that's the guy.
And it's kind of the same thing. They're two unserious coaches. I don't care what you look at Sarkisian, what he brings to the table. Lane Kiffin, it's kind of similar. It's just one does more on social media and the distractions that kind of trick you. Kiffin's playing a game where he wants his Q rating to be high. He wants to be thought of as the zany dude. He thinks he's Mike Leach, but trust me, he is not Mike Leach on or off the field. They won 7 games a year ago. If they win 8, 9 games, it's successful because you feel like you have stability. You're back on the hype train. But Ben Watson is a really smart guy. I'm a dumb person who says dumb things. That was a smart person saying something really stupid. That's one of the dumbest takes I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yes. Steele has Georgia, Texas, Bama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, A&M, Tennessee, and then LSU in his rankings in the SEC. And SEC days roll on again. I know DeBoer, which we'll get to coming up, DeBoer had comments about it's going to be difficult what happens at quarterback. This is Brent Ciancia on with the College Football Podcast. He is high on Oklahoma in a big way.
Yeah, that one might raise some eyebrows, but I've got them ahead of Texas. I like what I saw from them in 2025. I think you have to always look back first. Love their defense. This is a Brent Venables masterpiece on that side of the ball. Top 3 in my numbers on defense last year. they just were living in the backfield too. I think it might have been a pick six previews record in my negative play stat. It looks at tackles for loss, sacks, per play ratio. They were just living in the backfield. They rotated a lot too in that defensive line. 4 out of 8 are back. A couple All-American candidates there in the trenches. David Stone at D tackle, Taylor Wayne off the edge. Both linebackers are back. The secondary has several All-SEC guys. So that side of the ball, I'm very confident with being a top 5 unit again, a championship caliber defense. On offense, can you get me some improvement? And I think they will, because you have a healthy John Mateer. That, like you said, his busted hand really hurt their offense. But now, not just with Mateer healthy, he's getting a second year in the SEC. Remember, he came up from the Washington State, the Pac-12, so faster game, tougher opponents. I think a second year for him and a second year for the coordinator, Ben Arbuckle. His offenses have put up record numbers everywhere he's been. He's a younger guy, but he's an X's and O's genius. So I think that combination, and then offensive line. The whole season's going to hinge on this room, because last year what it was all freshmen, redshirt freshmen, maybe some true sophomores, very young. They took their growing pains a little bit, but they were strong enough this preseason to force out a lot of veterans to the transfer portal. So this young core of linemen coming up now a second year together, I think is going to make major movement for them, and all the way to vault them to the SEC title game in Atlanta for me. So championship defense, a lot of improvement. What I'm forecasting on offense should be a championship caliber team.
Plus 220 at DraftKings to make the playoff. 10 wins last year, handed Alabama the game in the playoff loss, and certainly Mateer's injury, what happened to the hand, was a big factor as well. Brutal schedule, though. At Michigan, at Georgia, at Florida, Ole Miss, A&M, Missouri to close. Oh, my God.
Mateer's healthy, though. I mean, that's the key. He was not the same when he came back early from the injury, and he forced himself back for Red River. They got a couple new weapons. Trell Harris comes over. He's been really productive at a couple stops. Kent State, Virginia, put up big numbers, helped them there. The thing I like about Mateer at quarterback, it's another year in the same system. Remember, him and Arbuckle came over together from Washington State. He's not learning. They're adding new wrinkles. He's getting everyone else on the same page. And he's a guy in the red zone who calls his own number. Mateer's like 25-1 for Heisman. I haven't bet it yet. I already know it's one of those that'll break my heart. He'll get off to a hot start again and then disappear. But I think this team can contend for the playoff. Do I think they're in the playoff? I don't know. It felt like they were on the right side of a lot of close calls a year ago.
Yeah.
And I still don't believe in Brent Venables as a head coach. I think he's a great defensive mind. I think the defense will be amazing. But I don't know if I believe him as a head coach, really.
What Heisman bet did you make?
I'm on Mensa, Miami. And I'm a Miami fan, full disclosure. Like, I'm pretty open about that. But this is a rare situation. This guy is so experienced. Tulane as a freshman. Duke, his second year. He also is bringing someone with him that he has chemistry with in Barkate, the wide receiver, who put up monster numbers a year ago. You combine that with, we've reached a juncture with the transfer portal and these programs. Certain teams and coaches know how to get acclimated with these new pieces. Well, Miami's done it back-to-back years with transfer quarterbacks. Cam Ward went number 1 in the draft. He was not projected to be the number 1 pick before he got to Miami to play with Shannon Dawson's offensive coordinator, his system. Year 2, Carson Beck gets them to the title game. I mean, I think Miami, Shannon Dawson, the way they're able to get these transfers up to speed, you combine that with Tony returns at receiver. They have a transfer from South Carolina, a transfer from West Virginia. All of them are dynamic playmakers. They're going to win the ACC. They're the only odds-on favorite right now to win a conference in college football.
Minus 130, yes.
So if they're there in the playoff, he's in the conversation. If this guy's getting better and he puts up these monster numbers like Cam Ward did, like Carson Beck to some degree did a year ago, but more as a leader, I think that Mensa is going to have a very strong case. Circa's got 16-1. Most places 11, 12-1. You can get 16-1 here. That's why I liked it.
Boy, the schedule's easy. I mean, if Clemson's going to be bad and down, I'll talk to my guy Clemson, Chris, what he thinks.
Although Ben Watson, they kind of hinted at the beginning of that clip we just played. I think it's 11.5. Clemson, I like Clemson plus 11.5 against LSU.
So does Brad Powers. Yeah. And then November 7th at Notre Dame. People are always saying, pointing out, where's the crystal ball game coming? Where's the bizarre law? They're saying a Friday night at Wake in late September could be a game.
That feels about right.
Where they lose a game they shouldn't.
I said the same thing to Chris the Bear Felica, and he's a Miami guy too. He snapped at me. He goes, "Show me the big game that Chris the Ball hasn't been ready for." I'm like, "Yeah, Chris, it's not the big games. It's Louisville. It's SMU. It's these teams are supposed to be a blip on the radar that you're supposed to just get past."
Yeah. The other one too, you have to respect SMU. I know Lashley talked about it at SEC Media Days that they came in and they make the playoff and then they go to the title game. Where they lost, but 9-4 last year, and they start with Florida State September 7th.
They return a lot. They need some help at skill.
Jennings is still there. Seems like he's been there for 7 years.
He's 85-1 for Heisman. That's a bomb you just consider. You put a few bucks on and hope it becomes real. He's so experienced. He's played in so many big games.
Yeah. Doable schedule as well.
Very.
Yep. They're gonna win a lot of games this year.
Look at NC State's schedule. I'm on the over 7.5 plus 105.
Okay.
They play nobody, Paul.
Very good.
Well, it doesn't work because your name's Paul.
Bruce Marshall up next. His thoughts on SEC Media Day, and could they do the unthinkable? They're talking a big game. Could they break away and do their own thing?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Paulie and Dustin, Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Great to catch up with our old friend Bruce Marshall, Gold Sheet and Wager Talk. He's been making the rounds, ACC Media Days and SEC Media Days. He joins us now on the Progressive guest line. How about what Sankey has been talking, Bruce, about this, along with the coaches? You're just reading from the script with this breakaway talk from the NC2A. What'd you make of the ruckus the last 4 days?
Well, I think he's actually playing this really smart because I don't think they really have any intention of breaking away. That would just cause too much commotion. And even if the Big Ten joined them, they'd have to redo a lot of the media deals. I mean, they'd become pariahs. But to just hold that out there as a threat is not a bad idea, because I really think what the SEC doesn't want here is this revenue split, the media deal split. They want, and he shouldn't go along with that. And as Sankey should, and neither should the SEC. That should be a non-starter, and that's part of this Protect the College Act. Is this stuff will all be pooled, but they're not going to go along with that. But I think if the other conferences drop that, and I don't think the Big Ten would be interested in that either, I think Sankey's more amenable to the other things. The other thing, where the playoff is going to go, and that I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I do not think the breakaway stuff is more than just sort of an idle threat by Sankey. But I agree with his strategy. I think I'd play that card too, as long as I can, to get what he really wants, and that's just not having to split any of this media revenue, because SEC, that's not in its best interest, and they shouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah. There's no way they break away. They're so obsessed with the comparison and the inferiority complex they have with the rest of the country. The big thing for this league, they're always trying to pound their chest and prove a point here. When you were down there and there was just a vibe of all these teams walking in the rooms, who stood out as like, this team is way more confident than they thought they'd be when they showed up?
Way more confident than they thought they'd be?
Yeah, just the way they're speaking, the way they're acting, just the presence of either the head coach or some of the players they brought along.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby's kind of like that, with Georgia. There's a little smugness about him, a lot of smugness about him. I mean, I can predict what he's going to say every time he walks up there. But, there's some of that for all of them, but there are some different personalities here. And some guys, I think, I really like John Summerall today. He showed up. There's a lot of new coaches in the league this year. And a bunch of them came from, they came up from the American, Alex Golish yesterday. So they've all got to be a little bit brash like that. But this smugness thing, I think Kirby wins that. One thing today, Coach Saban was here, though, with the SEC Network. That's the first time we've seen him. And he was in the back of the room, and it's like the Pope is here when he's here. Everybody sort of looks at him when he goes by. And he was only there for the morning session today, but he was here, and I think he'll probably be here tomorrow when Lane talks in the morning.
I thought you were going to say Will Stein. How about that answer? Why are you guys going to win? What's the big... Me, he said. I'm going to be... Look at that win total. Not much expected out of Kentucky.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I had two things on Will Stein. When I first came here on Monday, because he was up on Monday, there was actually a couple Kentucky fans here, and I've never seen any Kentucky fans at these things. And they asked me, they said, could you tell me when Will Stein's going to be walking by? We want to get his autograph. And I said, I'd tell you if I knew what he looked like. So I didn't even, at that point, I didn't even know. But after I saw him, then I knew. And I thought I know he was brash like that, but why not? Go ahead and say that. Kentucky needs a little brash. And he didn't sound all that arrogant to me. I mean, he was just kind of talking matter-of-factly. But for me, they asked, because we had to vote on this poll, like, who are you voting for to win the league? I said I'm going to vote for Kentucky. One, because that'll prove they are counting my vote. I'm going to be the only guy voting for them. And two, I said, why not? I mean, the guy, he's the only coach here who said we're going to win. I mean, that's like what Ali would have done if he was the SEC coach. So what the heck? I have a little fun with it. I'll be the only guy who voted for Kentucky. You'll see that coming out in a couple days. That one vote for Kentucky was me.
Hey, Bruce, a year ago, I had several Notre Dame beat writers on my show. They said Kenny Minchie was going to be the starting quarterback for the Irish last year, that he was outplaying C.J. Carr. C.J. Carr is the Heisman favorite. Who's to say Kenny Minchie can't just show up and do something in Lexington? I saw that John Summerall was talking today, aside from berating reporters about a cell phone going off. Where are you at with the Gators? They bring in Buster Faulkner, who, by the way, I go back to 2005 with at Valdosta State. He does not like me, but he's a brilliant offensive mind. He brings his quarterback, Aaron Philo, from Georgia Tech down to Gainesville. What do you make of what you've heard, what you've seen, what you're looking into with the Gators?
Well, I like bringing Faulkner along more than Philo, because I wasn't all that impressed by Philo at Georgia Tech, but they seem to think he can do it. Bringing Faulkner was a good move because they were paying him a lot at Georgia Tech, so that means that they are, well, we know Florida's serious, but, I mean, he went out there and he obviously had his eye on Faulkner and wanted to bring him in. Having said that, though, it's going to be a little bit before Summerall can get this thing up to speed, though. There is something about the way he talks, and we've seen what he did at Troy, especially Troy, and then the Tulane, too. And even Tulane, when he walked in there, that was pretty much a different team than it was the previous year when Willie Fritz was there and won all those games. He's had a proof of concept to sort of work with Summerall, so I'm willing to give him a little runway here. But this year, we'll have to see what Philo can do because, like I said, he didn't bowl me over at Georgia Tech. I'm not sure he will at Florida either.
What do you expect out of Kiffin in year one?
Kiffin, he's coming tomorrow. They're saving him for the last day, so he'll be up in the morning. He's sort of become the star attraction now. It used to be Spurrier, and then it used to be Coach Saban, and now it's sort of Kiffin. I think, though, and you talked about Heisman Trophy a second ago. Sam Levitt might not be a bad long shot vote. Remember, I mean, last year at this time, people thought he could be a first-round NFL pick if he wanted to come out last year. Then he got hurt, and that sort of changed plans. And he had a good coach in Kenny Dillingham. But you put a quarterback like that who can do what Levitt can do with Lane, they could really make some things work. Now, we'll see about up front because it's like all new lines both ways for LSU. But they work in a high stratosphere of the portal and their recruiting. I think Lane will have those guys fighting this year, and I think they could be a team that could be a threat to win the league, especially if Levitt is that good. And he could get in the Heisman race. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Bruce, Texas, second shot on the board to win the league, plus 310. There's no more excuses for Sarkisian. I don't understand the hype behind this guy. I'm not blown away by him, but his roster's loaded. They brought in two awesome running backs. Arch Manning returns. They go and grab a receiver in the portal and Cam Coleman, who's been productive. How far do the Longhorns have to go for him to keep his job, Sarkisian?
At some point, he's going to have to win the whole thing. With the money they spend and the roster, but it still seems like the parts have been greater than the sum at Texas for him, although they're getting closer. I'm still not quite sure, and I'm still not sold on Arch, although Sark's coming tomorrow. I guess he's bringing Arch with him. Last year at this point, Arch was like the Heisman favorite, which was absurd. So I think that's been tamped down a bit. He did play better toward the end of last season, but I'll tell you, I think he's down the pecking order with a lot of quarterbacks in this league. I don't put him at the top tier, not yet. I didn't see enough from him last year, and I think they're, hitching to that Arch wagon here. I'm not sure. I know the rest of the lineup is good, but Texas has had that sort of lineup like every year. It's time that they step it up, and they don't have a game like they did against Georgia last November when they just didn't show up and they got routed. I mean, that's happened a few times where they've lost these big games with Sark, and I think that's pretty soon. those Texas X's, they're going to get if they're not mad yet, they're going to get mad soon.
90 seconds, Bruce. You also were at ACC Media Days. Do you have a surprise from that league?
I think there's two. I think Cal will be better because I like Tosh LaPoya, and they got the quarterback. They kept him from last year. Watch Boston College. That was a very uncharacteristic sort of a year for them. They had a lot of injuries, quarterback issues. They have brought in a quarterback from Lake Superior State, I think it is, Mason McKenzie, the same league that sent Chambliss to Ole Miss. He can do everything. And I think Bill O'Brien will have BC very competitive this year.
Thank you, my friend. Enjoy your off season. Talk to you soon.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Bruce Marshall from Wager Talk and the Gold Sheet. He was at the SEC and ACC Media Days. Good to catch up with him. Winner Circle Proxy and VSiN are giving away 2 great prize packages that will put 2 lucky fans in the world's biggest football contest for free. One winner gets a $1,000 entry into Circa Survivor. Another one will win a $1,000 entry into Circa Millions. Both winners also get a full season Winner Circle Proxy service and a free month of VSiN Pro. Enter by Sunday, August 2nd for your chance to win. WinnerCircleProxy.com/VSiN. Enter today. WinnerCircleProxy.com/VSiN. He was a disaster as the OC with the Falcons and couldn't get the ball to Julio Jones.
I don't
and
get
then somehow
this.
we got wound up at Alabama and then parlayed that in the USC job and in the Texas job.
Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian getting any credit for what they did under Nick Saban blows my... They're two so unserious guys.
Totally agree. Absolutely. Do You Concur is up next. And I've been saying this for 10 years, that the UFC should do this. I think Dustin agrees.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Great moments in history have begun with a question. To be or not to be, that is the question. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
And what kind of hair product does Mitch Moss use? But Follow the Money wants to know.
Do you concur? Concur with what, sir? Do you concur?
Less is more. The UFC should do 6 to 7 cards a year and stack the hell out of them. Do you concur?
Concur. I think it's a joke. We don't get the build-up, the anticipation. When McGregor had a big fight in the past, it would be like 6 weeks out. We have the trash talking. It's getting buried, and then we're on to the next one the next week. As someone who's a casual who just tunes in for the big ones, I would say this. I'd care a lot more if I only had to get ramped up a couple times a year. This week after week, it's just too much. It's oversaturated.
Yes.
Patty Pimblett's fighting like every 3 weeks, it feels like.
I told this to Dana White like 10 years ago. And they've gone the other direction.
I don't get
it. They do
it.
a card every week.
I don't get it.
It's outrageous.
I don't understand it. I really don't. All right, let me throw one your way. After seeing The Odyssey, Tom Holland is better than Timothée Chalamet, who was in our head and in our faces for the last few months. Holland is so much more likable. I feel like they're very similar, but I think Chalamet is a little bit overrated.
Likable, yes. Not a better actor.
Probably not.
Say that. Some people didn't like his performance, but that's...
If I told you that Tom Holland was with Kylie Jenner, you go, I see that. But Chalamet?
Yes, that's fair. Absolutely. Right. It doesn't make sense.
There's no Riz.
Right. Yeah, right. And he's totally going crazy for the Knicks and like ignoring her, and that's...
Yeah, dude. Wearing Janko jeans?
I know. Oh, he dresses that. That's fair. I know. But that's... I could see that. We're all wasting our time trying to make the case for someone in the futures market because the Dodgers are going to three-peat. Do you concur?
Concur. They're still under 2-1. You can get plus money on them. I said it last year I was going to do it. I put a little bit on them, but not enough to make a difference. I think we're all talking ourselves into all these things, and a three-peat is inevitable here.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Tom Brady needs to start acting like a sixth-round pick. Stop acting like a sixth-round pick and instead act like the GOAT, the best quarterback to ever play the game. What has he been doing lately? Do you concur?
Trying to get into a wrestling beef because it's cool with one of the Paul brothers?
Giving him the finger? Slapping him?
Could you imagine Michael Jordan doing this?
No. Oh, Jordan just disappeared.
Peyton Manning's a goofball, and he's not doing this.
Yeah.
At some point, dude, you got to move on from the fact that you were ignored and disrespected. The obsession with the attention, we get it. Go get another. First of all, his surgeon loves the idea of him going to WWE. It's another face surgery for him, so he can come out looking like a puppet. I don't understand what's happening with Tom Brady. I totally concur. All right, the Red Sox are for real with this run, and it's going to carry on all the way to the postseason.
Oh, absolutely. What, you're not there?
I'm not.
What? Going for 16 in a row tonight?
I think it's
the rest. The AL's garbage.
No, it is.
They're in the playoffs if they started today.
I would take a shot at a longer number on Cleveland. I still believe in Detroit.
Oh.
There's upside with Houston, and even Baltimore I might like more than them. Even though they're red hot and scorching, I think it might be too much too soon. There's too much season left.
No, there's not. We're almost in August. It's a great time to go crazy at Savior's season.
Got to stay up.
Okay. We need an app that lets you watch the movie when you go. Because I know we had Jordan Palmer on the show once, and he came out with his idea was, I think it was called Run Pee or Go Pee. It was going to tell you the appropriate time to go to the bathroom when you're at the movie. But how about I just can get up at any time I want when I have to go, and then I can watch, because do you concur? Just take it there.
Cease and desist. I'm getting out in front of this. If you want to steal the idea, here's my idea. It's the concept. It's similar to that.
Because we had problems because the Odyssey's so long.
I'm sitting there in the Odyssey. I didn't bring my rubber band. I had to get up and go to the bathroom. I'm sitting there doing the timing, too. I've got the stopwatch out. I still have the stopwatch on my phone.
Okay.
And when there was about an hour left, I said, I got to get up and go to the bathroom. Even though I don't go that bad, I don't want to have to be holding it during the most dramatic parts of this movie.
Right.
And I realized I missed 3 minutes. I timed it. I missed 3 minutes of the movie. Is that major in a 3-hour movie? Probably not, but you don't want to, you're paying for it. It's an experience.
I said it Monday. I had to go during the Cyclops scene.
So here's what you do. There's an app. You got to create an app where you log in on the movie theater Wi-Fi. So they know you're not sharing it to someone who's not in the movie theater. And when you get up to pee, you open up their app, and it's synced with the movie where you are. So while you're walking to the restroom and you're going, you can still stay up on the movie, and when you sit back down, you put it away. We live in a time where you can have I'm watching baseball games at a steakhouse on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
We should be able to go to the bathroom, or you treat it like Broadway. I need an intermission.
Bingo.
40 and over. I want movies that are available for 40 years and over, where we have an intermission halfway through to go to the bathroom.
They had that with Godfather. I mean, I know he couldn't do it because he shot the whole thing in IMAX, but I mean, the movie's 3 hours and 20 minutes, okay, we have an intermission. And there's nothing wrong with a 10 or 15-minute break there either, which that's fine and we used to have.
I'll throw one at you. The SEC is trying to ruin college football. Do you concur?
100%, yes. Now, people are arguing that the Big Ten will join them if this happens, but if they want to just take their ball and go home and cry, let them. I mean, how they're moving the goalpost here. We're going to win every year once we go to the playoff. Now, okay, like Brett McMurphy when he was on Monday, that is a staggering stat. The last 3 years in playoffs, when they play a group of 4 team, power conference team, they're 2-10. Or 2-8 rather, 2-8 straight up. So this whole business about, well, our schedule's tough and you're not playing anyone non-conference, so we're going to SOS. You're not winning these games and you're getting blown out. No. And what Eli said, and Missouri's non-conference, and how Alabama got boat raced by Indiana, you're not the best conference. And you look at the results of the last 3 years. It's not even close.
Okay, from an economic standpoint, I want to remind the South, the last time you tried to secede, it didn't go well.
Yeah. No.
The last time you tried to break away.
Well, who's watching? Who's going to watch? Other than SEC, are you going to watch if they break away?
The obsession they have is the comparison to everyone else. They're obsessed with letting you know that they are better than everyone else, and they don't get enough respect. They need the rest of the country. I'd argue, though, they can't ruin college football because it's already been ruined, and it's not the transfer portal. The transfer portal and NIL didn't ruin college football. You know what did? The TV deals. The first time we had Texas and Oklahoma potentially going to the Pac-12 back then, that is when college football died. It has never been the same ever since then.
Yes. Super conferences and the realignment. I'll agree with you there. So you were making the case for this. You think Arby's Arby's is one of the most underrated fast food places.
I think it's the most underrated by far. It's not just burgers, right? They have chicken sandwiches. The roast beef is awesome. I don't care what anyone says. But the curly fries, you get mozzarella sticks. They used to have jalapeno poppers. They have a deep menu. Like
really?
Like they're a little bit. They shouldn't offer as much as they do. It's weird that they offer. Like who's ordering all of this stuff? It's like the cheesecake menu. You can't be good at Asian food, Italian food, and Mexican food. You gotta pick a lane.
Yeah.
I feel like Arby's does everything, and it's all pretty good. It's sneaky good. I'm telling. And Arby's beef is good, but even just like the Reubens they do, the Greek gyro they do, and all the little side things that they offer from time to time. Like the jalapeno poppers they had at one point. I don't know if they still have them, but mozzarella sticks at a drive-thru, that's a win.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Yeah. I was not aware of the deep menu. Interesting. Most underrated fast food. FTM at vsin.com. I've seen a lot of this, and I know we got emails on it in the past as well. A guy was at the bank recently. If you are having a conversation on your speakerphone in public, jail time, do you concur?
Oh, this has been a big thing for me. If I hear you on the phone, you should be put in handcuffs. I don't want to know what's happening in your life. I don't know you. You're a stranger.
It's the most obnoxious thing you can do, I think.
Also, when I get a phone call in public, I don't answer, or if I have to answer, I shield it. I don't want everyone
Can you imagine doing that?
The irony is how much business I say into the microphone and into the camera, but then in public, I'm like, I don't want anyone to hear what I'm talking about right now. Like, I've got something going on. I don't want to.
Are you seeing a lot of this?
Every speakerphone in the grocery store, at the doctor's office, in the waiting room.
No.
Get headphones or go outside or go in your car. I don't want to hear it. It's crazy to me. I don't understand. Same line of thinking. You're a psycho if you don't thank someone for holding the door open.
3 times in a row it's happened to me now. And it's been a female. I mean, come on. We're living in a society. It's like, that's right up there with, if I'm going to let you in, I need the hand wave.
Oh, I need the hand
wave. Come on.
And if you're not going
to back, it's been 2 of them have been here, holding the door open and nothing.
I'm also a big give them the finger if they're trying to not let you in. Like, let them know that you know what they know, what they're doing, and we're all on the same page. Here's a revelation that this should terrify me. Do you concur? Patrick Maher's been my mentor in radio for like 10 years. But I'm realizing right now, I'm turning into Paulie Howard. I got printouts with writing on front and the back. I am literally becoming Paulie Howard in front of your eyes.
Good job. Old school, baby. Doug Kazarian coming in studio up next. 4 games left on the WNBA schedule, and we get asked this a lot, and I've wondered the same thing. What has happened to ESPN? Doug next.